There's a reason so many of us say we want more from life, but never really start or follow through. I've caught myself in that pattern again and again. There are moments where I feel this clarity or inspiration, like this is it, but then nothing happens. I think most of us have a version of that. We've got a general idea of the life we want, maybe not all the specifics, but we know the shape of it. We know we want to grow or create or move forward. But even with that desire, there's still this weird resistance, and it's hard to explain. Like, for some reason, actually starting just feels heavier than it should. And I don't think it's because we're unmotivated or lazy or whatever. I think we're just living in a world that's constantly pulling us away from ourselves. Like everything is designed to grab our attention, but not in a way that leads us anywhere. I follow this Twitter account that posts a progress bar every few days. It shows how much of the year has already gone by. And when I saw it last week, I had this realization that I'd let so much of it pass again, and the things I said that matter the most still haven't had any progress. And I pictured how the rest of the year would look like if I don't do anything to change it. Because honestly, I don't think most of us are lazy. We're just distracted, and not in a random way. I think it's been built that way on purpose. Everything around us is designed to keep us reacting, refreshing, clicking, scrolling. So even when we get real time to ourselves, we don't know what to do with it. We end up reaching for the next thing just to keep moving, even if it's not taking us anywhere. This hit me pretty hard earlier this month. I had a full weekend to myself. No obligations, nothing urgent, and I told myself, alright, this is it. I'm finally gonna sit down and work on this big creative project that I had in mind. But then I didn't. I made coffee, checked the news, scrolled Instagram, watched some videos I'd already seen, played Haste Broken Worlds, which is probably what's on screen right now. And the whole time I kept thinking I was just easing into it, warming up. But then I blinked and it was Sunday night, and I just sat there like, what happened? How did I still end up doing nothing? It wasn't that I didn't care, because I did. And it wasn't that I didn't have time, because I had a whole weekend. But my attention just wouldn't cooperate. And the more I sat with that, the more I started to realize this isn't just a me problem. There's a whole system that thrives on keeping us slightly off balance. Not miserable, but just manageable enough. Just productive enough to keep going, but too tired to ask why. And it makes sense. The longer we're online, the more these platforms profit. The more uncertain or insecure we feel, the easier we are to sell to. And the more attention we give away, the less we actually have left for ourselves. That's how we end up here, saying we want more, but not doing anything about it. Not because we don't care, but because we're already spent before we even begin. And then we turn on ourselves. We feel guilty for not trying harder, so we look for another productivity hack, or scroll for motivation, or beat ourselves up thinking this was supposed to be the time we finally changed. And I think that's why people get into hustle culture. I get that it's good to want to improve, to be productive, but sometimes it starts to feel like we're just trying to prove we matter. Like we need something to point to and say, see this? This is why I'm here. This is why I'm allowed to take up space. That kind of pressure doesn't really help. It just slowly wears you down. Because even when you check something off that list, there's always something else waiting. And eventually you forget what the point was in the first place. I couldn't keep doing that cycle. So I paid attention to that thought and tried to do something small. I started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb a little more often. I went on walks and drives without music or podcasts. Sometimes I would just sit outside and do nothing for a few minutes. Literally nothing. And it felt kind of uncomfortable. Like my brain was convinced I was forgetting something or wasting time. I'd get this urge to grab my phone and clear all my notifications just to feel caught up. But when I pushed through that feeling, just for a moment, I started to feel something come back. Not some huge realization. It was just me finally thinking clearly without all the noise. And it felt good. Not because it allowed me to get back to work and check more boxes, but because I got to remember what actually matters to me. And I guess that's what reflection does. It's how you start to notice the quiet patterns that were shaping your life when you weren't really present to live it. It's how you stop living like an NPC and start realizing that you have agency. You can choose how your day plays out. I had a moment to choose what to do, what to care about, what kind of person I actually want to be. Not just eating because I'm hungry, scrolling because I'm bored, or sleeping because I'm numb. And no, I haven't figured everything out. I still feel the pressure sometimes to prove myself and to earn my place. But lately I've been wondering, maybe it's not about proving anything. Maybe it's more about not listening to all the stuff that tells you that you don't matter unless you do something impressive. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to optimize every second of your life. I think the real work is just protecting the part of you that already knows you're enough, just by existing, even when it's quiet, even when you feel like you've done nothing impressive. Your attention's been pulled in every direction except the one that actually belongs to you. So take a second, step away from all that noise. Give yourself a moment to listen and move in your own direction. Because if you've been feeling like someone who wants more but can't make any progress, maybe the answer isn't more effort or more willpower. Maybe it's just less noise. I just want to say thank you guys for always watching and keeping up with the channel. I know I've been a little bit inconsistent, but your support always means the world to me. There's the Discord where a lot of us kind of hang out and ask questions, so I'll link it below. Alright, that's it. See you.